got Granddad's Press in the parts washer. Just giving it a once over, bring her back to life, and just getting the 40 years off of it that wasn't used, and we'll see it back on the bench. Okay, we got Granddad's Press back on the healing bench, and time to find a home for it. I did some cleaning up on it today. It's drastic improvements. I think I'll attempt to put that footage in. And time to find a home for this thing. So that up today. I mean, like a glove it fits. Oh, look at there. Oh, look at there. It's going to be reloading soon. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, we picked up our components. I picked up the Lee, the cheap, what everybody buys their first time, the Lee little perfect powder measure $25 deal. I got the Hornady, the custom grade 3-piece die set. Caught that on sale at Academy, very good price. I'm running the Unique Alliant Unique powder. We've got this brass right here. I've got a couple different kinds, but I started off with the SIG Performance Elite, and I was curious whether or not you had to resize new brass, because I would kind of assume it being new brass, you prime it, powder it, bullet it, and go shoot it. But I'm getting a good bit of resistance when I went ahead and put it through the resizer just to be sure, and I'm glad I did, because it's I'm getting some resistance. So anyway, we got the SIG Elite Performance Brass. We're using CCI number 500 small pistol primers. Said the Unique, and we're going to use the Hornady 115 grain FMJ round nose bullets. So I got everything. I got the die, I believe, set. I've got my load data here. I did pick up the from what I could tell, pretty common, what everybody should have, a copy of the Hornady Handbook of Cartridge Reloading, 10th edition. And it's nice. I like it. It's got plenty of details. It's got a plethora of different powders and stuff. I kind of wish, if I could do this all over again, I kind of wish I would have bought this first before I bought a single thing, because there's some great recommendations here, some really good, just like pre-knowledge literature on how to freshen up, or somebody like me who's just starting. So yeah, if you watch this, I would recommend getting a piece of good literature, good reference material first, which is kind of, you should do that with anything. But got it going. I picked up the Hornady. Man, I tried and I looked at 100 different type of scales. I didn't know whether to go ahead and buy the $100 Hornady digital, the Frankfurt Arsenal $25 one that everybody starts off with. I was able to get this Lyman, the D5 Ohaus, Ohaus, OS. I don't really know how you say that. I was able to get that calibrated and working properly, so I'm kind of excited. That was one of Granddad's. That's Granddad's piece there. And I picked up these 2 reloading trays. I know this is kind of a luxury, and you don't really have to have it for first. You could just use a box that your ammo comes in, or a couple of them. But I really like. I'm a little bit of a label person, so I like that there are RCBS, and I also like that I got 2 of them, so I can have a working progression to and from. So I have a very clear, easy rotation going. So I know what's been done. I know where it's going, just to keep things organized. So I got the powder measure dialed in pretty nice. It's not the nicest, it's kind of plastic. I almost bought the RCBS Uniflow, which I will say would thread into my press, which would be right nice, because once I did my priming and resizing and priming, I could just thread it right into the press, load my brass. I could actually deprime, resize, prime, and load all in the same die. I may be wrong on that, because you got to have the deprimer here. So, whatever. You can set it up on the vise. You can set it up on the press, and it'd be nice. So, but anyway, I haven't lubed these cases. Well, I didn't buy any case lube, because this this die set says that it's the titanium nitride sleeve inside, and they say you don't have to use case lube with that. But I kind of want to get some anyway, because I figure it can't hurt. It can't hurt to have it. So what I did, and this may be a huge no-no, but I just took my gun rag, my oilcloth that I put CLP on to wipe the outside of my gun down on, and I just kind of put all the brass of that, and just kind of rubbed it around, just get a light coating of that CLP on there. So that may be a big no-no. I may not need to do that. I'll have to do some more research. But anyway, it's all here. We're going. And I'll just take you through the steps for a couple of times just to see. It's really neat. I got a movie going. I'm weird like that, even at work or whatever. I keep movies going or TV shows going instead of listening to music a lot of the time. So, but resize, put the primer in, insert a primer. We got a sized, primed cartridge. Well, I guess case. This isn't technically a cartridge yet. I'm gonna do some asking. There's a guy I work with who's really gray bearded in this, and I'm gonna ask him about primer seating depth. I want to know how he fares on the subject. So, resize. Add a primer. And I've already gotten into the habit of when I pull the shell out, I look at the bottom, it's got a primer in it. And this is where I'm really loving these trays. I'm from and to. Can't mess it up, so I can't pull any already primed. I'm not wasting primers, because I overpaid for these primers, just to tell you the truth. Although I did get 10% on them. I don't know. I think it was like $38 for the 1,000, the CCI, but I don't know why. I've never reloaded. I've never had experience purchasing primers, but for whatever reason, I wanted the CCIs. It's just a brand I trust. I don't know. I've had good luck with CCI 22 ammo, so maybe that's where my brand recognition sits from. Resize. Primer seat. And new primer. Awesome sauce. So I guess if you were doing an old brass, I got an old brass here, but I've already taken the primer out. This stroke would actually resize and pop out the old primer because it's got that primer notch pin on it. And then you've got a resized and deprimed. But I, for the moment, am using new brass. So I have no primer, but I'm going ahead. I do the stroke anyway. Resize, new primer. Seat that new primer. Boom. Resize, new primer. I'm gonna try to find. I've seen these guys on the internet use these little new primer. It's like a little pin that they hold, and they can like pick up primers with it. And I don't know if you just kind of like syringe press the back of it and it sets one on your primer or what. That, and I'm curious about those little hand primer deals. It's got the tray made into it, and you stick your case and it primes it. Excuse me. I'm kind of curious about that little apparatus, but you know, that'd be one more thing I have to buy, and what I have is working. So. Resize. Add a primer. So it's neat stuff. I will probably just cut you to the next stage at this point, instead of having to sit here and watch me do, you know, 20 more of these or whatever it is. So I will see ya then. All right, we got all our cases resized and primed. We got the case mouths belled or widened, the case mouths. And I got the charges put in. I did that off camera. You don't want to sit here and watch me fiddle with this and weigh each one, and because I'm paranoid, I had to measure and weigh each individual charge. So this batch of 50 is taking me like, I don't know, 3 hours. But you know, the first ones are kind of crazy. So I've got my charged cases here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on camera, but I got charges in there. I'm at 4.7. And I've got the seat and crimp die dialed in where I like it. Getting a nice rolled over crimp at the top. And got our links set right. Setting my Hornady 115 full metal jackets like we discussed earlier. So I got my case mouse bells just enough to where I can barely set that guy on there. And then we seat and grip. Pull it out. And oh, it's so pretty. And it's such a magical feeling, just feeling that bullet seat in place. And according to Hornady's cartridge reloading handbook, my case overall length should be 1.100, and I am at 1.1005. So I'll take it. I'm still at the stage where I'm reading my die instructions, but you know, sorry, getting situated here. So I'm sure that I'll get faster with this with time, but I think most everybody who reloads, is part of the reason they do it is because it's therapeutic and they just want to know more about their firearm, and how it's loaded and how their cartridges are made. It's just a fun thing to do. Educational. Whoa. Yeah. 099. That was just a touch far. I might back that up. Just a tad. Just a tad. I've learned that, like, the repetitiousness, if that's a word, the repetitive nature of your stroke on the powder drop and the actual press itself has a lot to do with the end product. So you want to be as precise and routine with every deal, with every stroke as you can. Man, it's a great feeling. That's just a great feeling. Yeah, 101. So, we've seen it all. From all the way from getting this thing home, putting it in the parts washer, cleaning it up, to now loading cartridges. I gotta say, it has been a very fun, educational, and just neat experience. And I hope to expand this operation to some 556 or 223, or I've actually got the 308 dies. I could do that. I think loading shot shells would be neat. Shotgun shells would be neat too. I've watched some of those online. It seems to be pretty cool to watch. Dial that in just a touch. Loading the wads and then the shot. I just think that'd be neat. My dad used to do that as a kid. Seat and crimp. Man, you can just feel both the stages. It's just so neat. That's on 1.100. I'm so glad that I bought these trays too. If from a beginner standpoint, if I could give any advice, if anybody wants to hear it, is get you a couple of these trays. They are so worth it. I love having this side being progressive to this side. It's organized. It fits my OCD bone very nicely. And I think it's better than just using like the factory ammo trays that are whatever. I was gonna say plastic. These are plastic too, but I think I've seen online where somebody makes like these anodized aluminum, specially milled shell holders, for this type of deal. But that's a little much. These are like $8 a piece or something like that. $8, $9, something like that. So I spent the 20 bones to get those, and I'm very pleased with it, and it matches my loader and the brand and everything, so very happy. Oh, see, I just love it when a plan comes together. 1.100. So here's what one looks like, by the way. I want to just take a gander at it. That's the Hornady 115 round nose in the SIG 9mm Luger brass with the CCI number 500 primers. That's the whole kit and caboodle right there. Is it weird that I'm nervous to shoot these? Probably not. Everybody's a little nervous the first time, right? Sort of like something else. You're just like anything else. You're kind of nervous the first time, but you're having fun. So, that's the opening road to my reloading journey. this is not a one-time thing. I get to do this a lot more because this is just a lot of fun. This is just all kinds of fun to me. I'm really fortunate that I came into Granddad's loader here and came into a little side work where I could fund the material and supplies I needed to get up and going. So it all worked out. All worked out well. This has been a really neat experience. So if anybody's on the fence about reloading, man, I tell you, even you know, with the 9mm too, there's a lot of argument that it's not worth it. You're not really saving a lot of money. You know, and you look at and what research I've done, you know, that's kind of true. You don't save a ton, especially on the front side, having to buy the stuff. But I think the argument is you'll shoot more, so you're going to have more ammo, but it will be cheaper than buying the same amount of ammo. But just the process of doing all this has just been so therapeutic and fun and mesmerizing, and it's just neat getting all the stuff together and laying all the pieces out and looking at your reference material and reading in your bullets. And honestly, this is weird, just the weight of this box, the weight of the bullets in the box is just neat to me. It's just neat, just the way it feels. It's just cool. And I haven't by any means perfected my system yet. I still got, you know, I got junk everywhere here at this is my kind of do-all bench at the moment. This is not my reloading bench. This is my workbench and box opening table and sewing, cutting mat, and my leather working table. So it all kind of works as the same for me. So I'm sure that this will get taken down after a while if I build a bench or something. But yeah, so if there's anybody on the fence about wanting to start reloading, my recommendation is that if you enjoy, you know, reading data sheets and setting up stuff like this and getting into a groove and like repetitious type things like this, it's a blast, man. Absolutely pull the trigger on it, because it's not just, and that's the neat thing about a reloading press too, is like once you have, you know, the meat and potatoes, the actual press here, you're just a set of dies away from whatever you shoot or everything that you shoot. And you know, dies are anywhere from $25 to, you know, I think them as high as about 50. But I can totally see having a stock of these things and start reloading all your own stuff, and you can hand tailor these rounds. You know, I can play with my velocities from even just with this 115 grain round nose bullet. I've got 6 different velocity columns that you can have charges for, all the way from 1,000 to 1,250. So I'm sure there are some subsonic charts in here if you want to load up some stuff for suppressor and stuff. So your options are out there. It's a really, really cool experience, really cool procedure, and I think it makes you not necessarily a better shooter, but at least a more knowledgeable shooter, because you kind of know and understand what your ammunition goes through to be made. So I think it's a neat process. So anyway, this has been my first reloading experience, and there's my end result. If I don't drop it and set one off here. So, oh, something else we can do too. Well, I got you here. Sorry, I'm off frame, but I'm gonna take apart the Glock and do a chamber test. I actually have not done a chamber test on these yet. Oh. It's beautiful. gorgeous. So, if I can get right here in front of the camera nice and I'll do a chamber test and I'll stick that guy in there. Beautiful. That's a good sound. So just to compare, here's a this is a Hornady critical defense. That's what I carry. It's exactly the same. Anyway, it's my first experience with reloading, so thanks for watching if you've watched this far.